Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel. And today, some more racing in LMU. I'm going to be practicing a little bit more with the Peugeot Wing hypercar. I used to drive a little bit of the wingless before moving on to the Genesis, but now I'm back to Peugeot. So, okay, folks, here we go. Here we go. Ooh, it's dark. Okay, let's try. Do we have any tire warmers here? No, we do not. This is Barcelona, so I have not raced here at Barcelona since the map came out. Played it quite a bit in the 2 weeks that it came out, and haven't been here since. Whoa, no, 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 no. Okay. Didn't seem to get any damage there. So yeah. These hypers on cold tires are really, really dangerous. Ridiculously dangerous. Like driving on ice. Not fun. Okay, hopefully gonna make our way around the track a bit so that I can start working on the car setups. Because yes, earnest believer that car setups, especially in the hypercars are kind of like clay, and you can mold them to your fancy. Doesn't necessarily make you faster, but if you drive the car in confidence, then that's always a good thing. You're always afraid of pushing the car because you never know what it's going to do. Oh, there goes the rear. See, I'm not going fast, I'm not doing anything abrupt. The car's just not holding to the track. And you know why they took down tire warmers? because they want to save the planet from global warming. They figured that the tire warmers are heating up the planet too much, so that they would give the example and not do it. I don't care about driver safety. We'll just give them an extra 15 minutes to warm up the tires. Problem is that in the video game, you get 7 minutes. You don't get an half an hour or 15 minutes or none of that stuff. You get 7 minutes to head out onto the track, warm up your tires, and do a fast lap, which is, unless you're an alien, not really something that's enjoyable. Yeah, so we're getting a little bit more heat in these tires. Let's see if the car bites a little bit better. Ooh, my rear's going again. Yeah, so there might be an issue here with the car set as well. It's hard to say while the tires are cold. Same thing here. Track is 19 degrees. Ambient air is 20. What are all these cars doing here? Ooh! Yep. I don't know who puts up these practice servers, but some of them put tire warmers, some of them don't. Can be hard to warm up the tires on this track, especially when you can't really push it. Seems to be getting better as the tires warm up, but I still have a feeling that the front end might need some packers. Something needs adjusting here. Yeah. I mean, I could get onto wet tires to try it out. Wet tires will give me an indication of Because wet tires just stick even at very low temperatures. Not really that good, but I'll be able to do a couple of laps without spinning out. Push the tire sideways here a bit. Yeah, the rears really do need to warm up though. They're still very cold. Ooh, I'm not going. Yes, yes, no, yes, maybe, no. Okay, so as they start warming up, I am getting a little bit more traction in the rear. Can't be a bad thing. But the rear definitely needs more heat. See, I've already gone through 10% of my tires just warming them up. Ridiculous, isn't it, folks? Really? Uh, I'm out. Yep, I'm out. Okay, definitely need some more heat in the rear. I'd say overall, yeah, more heat. So we'll save it as this for now. This is Barcelona. V1.1. Wow, that's a big difference in ride height. Massive difference. Okay, let's see how it handles on wet tires. Ooh, the rear still goes. Okay. We're gonna have to think about that rear a bit. Ooh. There's that braking zone. Oh, already finished. Practice is over. Okay. Well, did a little bit of testing. Ooh. Livery available. Okay. Let's go to liveries. Let's wait for it to load up. If it wants to, probably this one. Let's assign it. If I wait for this to load up, I might have to wait a very long time. Yeah, I'm running the, what is it called? The PUG version of the game. Somewhat experimental. And I'm finding that the UI is super slow to load. Practice, this one's already full. This one's already full. Practice GT3s. Nothing for hypercars, right? That's a race. That's it. Okay, daily races. Let's go check the daily races here. This one starts in 20 minutes. Okay. Let's load in. Had a fun race here yesterday.
Mike Wolf BLN says, Sup Jeep.
Hey, hello Mike. How are you doing today? Ooh, that is a very content creator. He's a very, very red flag.
Mike Wolf BLN says, hungover.
Oh, sorry to hear. So yeah, let's go with wet tires. Let's try that. Okay, so what's the name of the guy that's actually Mike Vince? And he's in a GT, okay.
Mike Wolf BLN says, was a friend's birthday, I got home at 6 a.m.
Ooh, okay. Dang, so yeah, hungover, and hopefully you didn't have to go into work. Getting in at 6, having to leave to work at 7. That would make for a very rough day.
Mike Wolf BLN says, today is a public holiday.
Okay, it's a good thing, eh? Had a very good race here yesterday. Hopefully we can have a repeat today. Although the start was much carnage. We had like 10 red flags in our race there, so yeah. First lap was just complete chaos. There's also rain halfway through this race. And then things get very slippery. I like the balance of this car. Oh, car coming. Oh, there's the content creator.
Mike Wolf BLN says, yeah.
I never get into hangover situations. I was never a big drinker, and mostly because I was always the designated driver.
Mike Wolf BLN says, I was watching Alex drive it yesterday.
Ah. Yeah, never... I think I got into a hangover twice in my life. But yeah, I was always the designated driver for my friends, so... Never really drank that much.
Mike Wolf BLN says, Alul, I don't really drink much usually, but this is one of my best friends and he wanted to drink.
Yeah, even then, I wouldn't normally drink much. You know, I'd go somewhere, have a beer, and that was basically it. But there was this one time, when I was a kid, I used to have a scooter, and went to a party, and one of the girl's fathers came to get his daughter, and he backed up into my scooter and broke the bejesus out of it, and never really paid to fix it, but he told his daughter that he had paid to have it
Mike
fixed.
Wolf BLN says, I remember leaving my friend's house, but I don't remember getting home.
And a year after that, at the same guy's party, she was there again, and I called her father out. Whoa! What an idiot. He just cannonballed right into my rear. And we got into a big argument because her father told her that he had paid to have it repaired. We got into an argument, and that's when I learned that arguing with a girl and drinking don't mix. Because I was too drunk to drive my friends back home that night. That's one of the times that, yeah. I was drunk before I even knew it. My friends needed to find themselves.
Mike Wolf BLN says, "Why are you on Wet's ATM?"
Because I don't have the patience to warm up tires in the practice session without tire warmers. What is this guy
Mike
doing?
Wolf BLN says, "Oh, okay."
So it allows me to go around the track a bit. I'm not doing very fast lap times, I'm just going around the track, practicing, trying to find a rhythm, trying to find a groove. And watching all the other cars go into the ditch because they're trying to warm up their tires. Just trying to get a feel for this car. But yeah. So I noticed in the race yesterday, when it starts raining, the track's very saturated in rubber. So the racing line becomes like jello. And it's very dangerous. Yep, figured he would get himself into an accident there. Lots of cars on the tracks now.
Mike Wolf BLN says, "This is Ofchal Wek expirance, yes?"
Yep.
Mike Wolf BLN says, "When the rain comes, go in directly and get wets."
Well, I usually stay out the first lap when it starts to rain. I come in the lap afterwards. And then I kind of should have followed my intuition. Because the pit crew says I need like 62 VE. And I'm like, that's going to be like 10 laps too much. And yeah, I finished the race with 10 laps too much fuel. But it's so slippery. The racing line, like I said, the racing line is like jello.
Mike Wolf BLN says, LOL, how is this game so bad at calculating the fuel?
Well, because when you come in, you're on a dry pace, you know, driving pace. And I don't have a lot of experience driving in the rain. So I go very slowly, so I'm not using up as much fuel.
Mike Wolf BLN says, it's like they are using first gen AI agent.
No, it's because, whoa, okay. I think my tires are a little bit too warm there at 80 degrees. It's okay. Oh, Mike left. Alright, not Mike. Whatever that guy's name was. Okay, gonna set up a smoke screen while we wait for the race to start. So no, like I said, it evaluates how much fuel you've been consuming per lap, and it figures out that, you know, you're going to keep the same pace until the end of the race, except that I go a lot slower in the rain. Like basically I'm running around the track in third gear the entire time for the second half of the race, so I'm not using as much fuel. So I figured as much, but Justin was like, no, no, no. Put more than what they tell you. I'm not going to put more because I know I'm going to use even less in the rain. So yeah, it should take in consideration that it's going to rain and that you're not going to be using as much fuel, but it calculates it on the average that you've been using, so.
Mike Wolf BLN says, it's not a perfect system.
No, it's not a perfect system. And I am far from being a perfect driver. Is it letting me leave this? I think my game is frozen again.
Mike Wolf BLN says, we is human.
I think my game froze again. I've been running into all kinds of issues since the power failure. And I don't want to reinstall Windows and reinstall all my software, but everything's broken.
Mike Wolf BLN says, Alt F4. Mike Wolf BLN says, restart LMU.
Yeah, Alt F4 doesn't do anything, does it? Oh, it worked. Okay.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Yes, it closes the app.
Yeah, like I said, sometimes my Windows doesn't work, so I need to maybe reinstall Windows, so I wasn't sure if it's gonna work or not. Which my dashboard is not working, so let's fix that. It's another rainy day today. Hopefully I get back in time for the race. Three minutes.
Mike Wolf BLN says. I'll ask my friend if they have a tool like the one I have for Mac to rebuild the system files properly without reinstalling Windows.
Well, you can always do a system restore and stuff, but when it's due to a power failure, there's no secret stuff. There's something that's been corrupted somewhere on both PCs, my streaming PC and the gaming PC. But I am also running the Pug Share version of the game. So I'm running this version here of the game. So that might be the issue as well. Because it's sending data to the developers to see how well the game is running on my PC.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Maybe yet I use the normal version.
Well, this version reduces the wobble for Moza's drive bases. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to play in these games. So I'm kind of stuck with it.
Mike Wolf BLN says. But I have to start protected game and run as administrator.
Yeah, the Pug version took away the oscillation of the Moza wheelbase.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Just to get LMU to open since 1 year.
And that's almost a 1-to-1 ratio. A lot more people are driving hypercars now. Not many Canadians, though. I'm the only Canadian. Whereas in GT3s, you had a couple of Canadians here, Alan and Bubba. Still not that many. But there's a lot more people that drive hypercars than they're used to. I was going to try it with the Porsche, but I didn't have enough time to
Mike Wolf BLN
practice.
says. It's also a public holiday in Belgium, Austria, and Luxembourg today. Mike Wolf BLN says. So maybe more players because of this.
Yeah, there's definitely more European drivers than there are American drivers. Even in the evening, there's not that many Americans on. Okay, so I'm in split 8 of 9, and I still have a whole bunch.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Well, that's always the case.
And I have a lot of red flags here. Well, this is gonna
Mike
be...
Wolf BLN says. Even on iRacing.
It's gonna be a very chaotic start of the race. Well, nothing I can do about it. Let's just try and avoid all the chaos. I got a sore neck. Driving is hard on the back and neck. I remember playing other games with the keyboard and mouse, and I could play like 8 hours straight.
Mike Wolf BLN says. My hips and legs are sore.
Okay, well, that's probably because of something that you did last night. You should not be wearing out the carpet. Okay,
Mike Wolf BLN says. 100% yes.
I don't know if I should go around because I don't want to use up my wet tires, which is usually what I do for qualifying. I just want to start from the rear and hope for the best. We have 5 red flags in our division. I truly think that if you get a red flag, you should not be able to race.
Mike Wolf BLN says. But start the race on dries, yes.
Yes. But I think that these red flags people should not be in gold races. They should be forced to go back to silver and have a trusted badge to be able
Mike
to
Wolf
come back into
ELN says.
gold.
Then how do they clear the red flag?
Well, you just do a silver race and don't get into any accidents. And if you're silver and you get a red flag, then you have to go back to bronze and get yourself a trusted badge, a good driver badge. And if you're bronze, well, you're still stuck in bronze, so that doesn't make any difference. You should not lose your rating, but you should not be allowed to, you should be on probation. And if you want to come back and do gold races, well, then go and do a silver. get a good driver badge, and then you can come back to gold. Otherwise, there's no consequences for these guys. Like this guy, Pablo Escobar, which is a name of a smuggler in South America. I'm pretty sure that's not his real name.
Mike Wolf BLN says, driver rating shouldn't be touched, but safety rating should be reset to 0 for anyone coming back from a ban.
Yes, coming back from a ban, but even these red flag drivers, if you would have seen the beginning of the race yesterday, like half the hypercars are out after the first corner. And that's not cool.
Mike Wolf BLN says, I'm familiar with him. My girlfriend is from Medellin, Colombia. WHWRE he was born.
Yeah, so that's not even a real name, so this is a Smurf account. And this guy's gonna be dangerous.
Mike Wolf BLN says, SMF account mean a second account, but yet it's too easy to just make multiple accounts with Steam Family Share.
Well, it could also be his main account and he just doesn't care about nothing. So, I'm just saying that this is probably not a serious driver. He might be very fast,
Wolf
but
BLN says, yup.
he might be a very fast driver, but I don't think that I could be mistaken. Maybe he's a really good driver who's really had a lot of bad luck. And he's just mad that people are not getting banned and instead are stuck in our races. And if he's like, well, if everybody just doesn't care no more, then I'll just put whatever. Look, they're all running very low on fuel to qualify. I'm surprised. Ooh, he spun out. Well, it's nice to see a Genesis on pole, provisional pole. I wish I was good enough to qualify, but I'm not. I can't warm up my tires fast enough. The only way for me to warm up my tires very quickly is to spin out of control. Which then flat spots my tires, and then I'm not happy driving. So let's not do that. Okay, well, he just decided to not qualify. Well, he's already like third, so his lap wasn't going to be faster, so he just quit. I'm trying to make a livery for an Alpine, and I'm having a hard time getting inspired. I haven't been getting inspired lately to do liveries. Well, time's up. Let's get to a race, folks.
Mike Wolf BLN says, well, with the system bug not uploading liveries, it's like you're making them for nothing.
Well, it took 4 or 5 days for them to get back to it. So I made one this morning for the Porsche. It took an hour for it to upload. But I mean, I'm not inspired to make a design for a car. I was working on the Alpine last night, and for an hour, I'm just looking at where the parts are on the car. And as soon as I start designing something, I'm like, I'm not liking this. I'm not inspired. I don't feel like doing it.
Mike Wolf BLN says, why don't you look at the Alps mountain range?
How is that going to inspire me to do an Alpine livery for the car? Okay, 28 laps.
Mike Wolf BLN says, could find some inspiration.
No, I look at the car, and that usually gives me inspiration. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll probably aim for about 50% when I do come in. Let's change that to tires. New wets. At least that'll be done. So there's like 2 cars in front of me that did not start. And
Shaolin Monk 4206 says, good luck.
Thank you, Shaolin Monk. I'm definitely gonna need it in this race.
Shaolin Monk 4206 says, I've been on PMR hoped on LMU and well it was bad lol.
Oh man, this guy is just crazy. Well, that guy really wrecked the start of my race. Oh, I gotta get ahead of him. He's slowing me down. Ooh! He almost hit me there. That was a dangerous rejoin. Whoa! Is he trying to hit people? See what I mean? All these nutcases, they should not be here.
Mike Wolf BLN says, nah I think he just spun out.
Well, that was an extremely dangerous rejoin. See what I mean? These guys are doing it on purpose to just wreck each other. Now he's going to do another dangerous rejoin.
Mike Wolf BLN says, skill issues and bad driver are not always the same.
Oh, these are not bad drivers. These are idiot drivers.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Add in room temperature IQ, then you get some special ones.
Not only that, but I definitely think that you need a different driver's license for hypercars. He's fast in the straight, but as soon as we get to the corners, he's slowing me down terribly.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Possibly has too little wing.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. He's fast on the straight there, but
Mike Wolf BLN says. He'll die as soon as rain comes.
exactly. But in the meantime, he's slowing me down. Well, he's gonna get some cut track warnings. Thank you. Ooh, I'm having a hard time braking here. I'm having a hard time braking here. Dang it. Not a tire on the road? Yep. Okay. Is that considered like hitting another car if I hit his tire?
Mike Wolf BLN says, LOL. Mike Wolf BLN says, yet I think gives a damage contact in SR hit.
Not easy. And a little bit too fast there. Whoa, what was that? That guy just cannonball ran there. Was he trying to hit me?
Mike Wolf BLN says. Nah, looked like lack of skill.
He came out of nowhere and didn't even brake. Seemed like he tried to jump the corner and smash right into me.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Box box.
No, I stay out a lot more. Oh, BMW behind me. Is that that's Escobar. Nope, that's not Escobar. Okay.
Mike Wolf BLN says. If you box earlier, wet tires get warmer faster.
Yeah, but I'm also losing on a fast lap. And then I pit at the same time everybody else, so there's a lot of people in the pits.
Mike Wolf BLN says. As you like.
because from now on I'm basically running in third gear until the end of the race.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Pits were quiet.
But to remember, thank you is up and sorry is down. Yeah, but I'm losing a fast lap here, and I won't be able to do any fast laps until never.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Yes, but your tires are warmer sooner when the main rain hits, so you go faster than as it's harder for all tires to warm their tires, and therefore you can be faster.
Yeah, except the track is saturated in rubber, so like I said, it's like jello. As soon as you get on the racing line, it's really bad. I spun out like 10 times yesterday. And I wasn't even going fast. It really doesn't matter how warm the tires are. I gotta stay on the track where there's no rubber.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Yes, it does. Mike Wolf BLN says. They grip better.
Yeah, that's the theory. In practice, you need to stay off the racing line, because if you're on the racing line, you can't get no grip, no matter what.
Mike Wolf BLN says. LOL.
Whoa! Ugh. See, I can't stop. Well, basically, I'm gonna be this slow until the end of the race. Even slower. Even he can't make the corner there.
Mike Wolf BLN says. He's probably on slicks still.
No, at this point in time, if he was still on slicks, he wouldn't be moving at all. He'd just be spinning in circles. I don't have a lot of practice in the rain. Why is he still there?
Mike Wolf BLN says. The wetline you're using on the inside is correct, but as you come to the end just before the corner, move to the outside to open it up. That part of the corner has less rubber on it and allows you to. Mike Wolf BLN says. Open up the corner further.
Oh, there's the Porsche. I'll let him go because he doesn't have any wing. Oh! Dang it. I was lucky not to get any suspension damage
Mike Wolf
there.
BLN says. Unlucky.
No, it's extremely slippery. As soon as you touch the race line, it's always a 50-50 chance that you're gonna wipe out.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Yeah, I know.
Where is this guy going? And I don't want to be on the racing line.
Mike Wolf BLN says. I think you might have out your front left wheel on the P-anti line, they are very slippery.
Oh, I'm not stopping. Oh, dude. I got no traction nowhere. I hate it because you have no choice of going onto the race line to move around the track here. Too bad I wiped out when I wiped out. I was in 4th place when I wiped out. Oh, dang, is it slippery. And that's why I like staying out for one more lap when it starts raining. Because you can get one more fast lap in. Especially I was in the groove and really enjoying it. What, the second place driver's about to pass me? Dang, he's flying. I don't have the skills to drive that fast in the wet. Ooh, sorry, dude. I didn't see if I had a blue flag there, or is this guy a lap down from me? Hopefully I can bring it home safely. That's all I want. Bring it home in one piece. It's incredible how it's night and day. Off the racing line, you got a lot of traction. As soon as you get on the racing line, it's jello.
Mike Wolf BLN says, I'd be using the racing line now.
Yeah, it's still very much jello. You don't feel my traction control kick in as soon as I hit the racing line. I'm going in third and fourth and fifth gear. As soon as I touch the racing line, my traction control kicks in. I'm slipping.
Mike Wolf BLN says, that means the TC is doing its job.
Yeah, but it also means it's extremely slippery. See, the car in back of me is also all over the place. I know, because I was spinning out all the way to the end yesterday. Ooh, see, he's got no traction. Oh, that stupid Ferrari is behind me now. Really? Yeah, neither of them are. Oh, that's a shame. Eventually I'll get some more experience in the wet. Maybe I also need to set up my car differently. Ooh! There I go. Hopefully no cars come. Man, I hate the racing line. Might be that my wet tires are overheating. A little bit. I just need to survive. Was this the last lap, or do I still have one more lap to go? Oh, still one more lap to go, okay. He's moving all across the track here. I like this race though. It's not an easy race. But Spa is a fun track. And once you get over the chaos from the first lap with all the bad drivers, then it becomes a pretty interesting race. But again, I put in way too much fuel. Oh no, down to 4 laps. 4 laps of fuel, that ain't bad. Not as bad as yesterday where I finished the race with 10 laps. Oh well. Given that I started from last, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 did not finish. Yeah. If I had just a little bit more practice in the rain.
Mike Wolf BLN says, GG.
Thank you. Okay. Let's have a look. Gain 10 positions.
Mike Wolf BLN says, yeah, please try what I told you about the wet line.
Stay out of it. That's all I can say. Every time I go onto it, I slide out. I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, race contact with the barrier. Yep. Stupid bloody race line. But I need more practice in the rain. That was pretty nice.
Mike Wolf BLN says, can tell you I'm very good in the wet.
I'm not. This is like, what, my 3rd or 4th or 5th race in the wet. I really have not been practicing wet driving. But in these conditions, it makes for an interesting race. You have all the chaos at the beginning, then you have chaos when the rain comes. Everything gets mixed up. At least I didn't put as much fuel as I did yesterday. Yesterday I put way too much fuel.
Mike Wolf BLN says, yup.
So it just changes things up and it makes for fun and interesting races. Oh, you were not there yesterday afternoon when I did a P3 race. I did the Fuji P3 race because Justin likes the P3s. It was the worst race ever. I don't have any setups for the car. I don't really drive them. And the default loadout has so much wing.
Mike Wolf BLN says, no, I was out with my friends.
The default loadup has so much wing on it that in the stretch on Fuji, I cannot pass a GT3. They are faster than me on the straight. So basically, I was fighting with a GT3 the entire race.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Yet I know.
And it's a long race, so for an hour, I am going nowhere fast. And it was the most boring race I've ever done. You're in a prototype car and you can't even pass a GT3 in a straight line. Like, I was really right up to the bumper. We get into the stretch. I tried to pull
Mike
out.
Wolf BLN says. LMP2 is not much faster than GT3 top speed.
Oh, yeah, but you have a lot more acceleration and everything else. Oh, yeah. You could fly by GT3s in a P2. But GT3, P3, you pull out, and by the end of the straight on Fuji, you got to pull back in to do the corner. I'm faster in the corners, but not enough to overtake them in the brake zone. Because you don't have ABS and they do. So it was the most boring race I've ever done. Never again will I ever race a P3.
Mike Wolf BLN says. GT3 is 20 kilometers per hour faster than LMP3.
Well, that's on the default wings. If you open up your wing, you can pass them. All the other GT3 P3s were passing the GTs. But they probably know how to set their setups. Because I could not. And Justin did the test after I got off. And he says, yes, if you lift the wing, reduce the wing completely, you can pass GT3s. But on the default wing, you cannot. But I don't play enough P3s. I hate them to fool around with the setups.
Mike Wolf BLN says. LMP3 top speed is 290, GT3 top speed is 311 to 313.
Yeah, but if you open the wing, you can overtake them at Fuji. Because everybody's pretty much running stock wings. So the only way for a P3 to pass a GT is to reduce that wing. Get rid of that wing downforce. And you'll be able to pass them. But I did not think of none of that because I never drive P3s. So I left everything default and I was not able to pass one single GT3
Mike
the
Wolf
entire
BLN
race.
says. LMP3 are not supposed to be with GT4s, not GT3s.
I know, but that's what they're doing, so whatever. Yeah.
Mike Wolf BLN says. Ops, I mean not supposed to be with GT3. Mike Wolf BLN says. Yet.
So last night when I got back on, that's why I went and did this race, and I have a lot more fun doing Spa in the rain than doing a stupid P3 race at Fuji. So that's all I wanted to say. So, okay, I gotta think about supper. Gonna go and take a walk with the cats. There's a little bit of sun coming out. It was raining earlier today. So, get some rest, Mike. And maybe you'll be top shape tonight to watch me race, or maybe you'll just be sleeping in to recuperate from your hangover. Well, thanks for watching, Mike. And see you in the next one.